Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 3, talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. Text 24. Tatte niriksho na pitapi dehakrid daksho mama dvit tadanubratascha ye yo vishasri yagya gatam baroru mam managasam anagasam durvacha sakarot tiraha tatte nirikshona pitapi dehakri daksho mamadvi tadanubrataschaye jo vishashri jagya gatang baroruma manogasang durvachasa karotya anagasam durvachasa karotiraha tatte nirikshona pitapi dehakri daksho mamadvi tadanubrataschaye jo vishashrik jagya gatang baroruma anagasang durvacha sakarotiraha tatte nirikshona pitapi dehakri daksho mamadvi tadanubrataschaye jo vishashrik jagya gatang baroruma anagasang durvacha sakarotiraha Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 3rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati. So, in this way, this chapter ends. This chapter is entitled as The Talk Between Lord Shiva and Sati. Sati's father, Daksha, who is actually the son of Lord Brahma. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Daksha is naturally a very exalted personality. He is not only Brahma's son, but he was considered by Lord Brahma himself as one of the foremost of his sons. Brahma's sons have two categories. One category is the 4 Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar. They are the first 4 sons of Brahma. Brahma actually wanted to have children to assist him in his responsibility to procreate progeny. Brahma was assigned by the Lord to fill up the universe. The universe at the beginning was empty. How was the universes created? The universes were created simply due to the breathing of Mahavishnu in the causal ocean. Lying down in causal ocean as Mahavishnu or Karanodakshai Vishnu breathed, from his breathing came different universes. The bubbles that were created due to his breathing, those bubbles were actually universes. And then he entered into each bubble as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Mahavishnu expanded himself as Garbhodakshai Vishnu and he entered into each universe and filled up the universe, half of the universe, with water from his body. Just as we sweat, due to our sweating, water comes out of our body, in a similar way, the water came out of the Lord's body. But when we sweat a few drops. But when the Lord sweats, He can fill up half of the universe. If He wanted, He could fill up the entire universe also. But His purpose was different. His purpose was to fill up half of the universe. He filled up half of the universe and then he laid down in that water of the universe. On that water, in the bed of Ananta Shesha. And then from his navel sprouted one lotus, came out one lotus. And Brahma, the first created being, was situated on that lotus. And Brahma at the beginning did not know what he was supposed to do. Brahma's situation was, he woke up, he opened his eyes, and he saw himself sitting there, and he did not have any recollection of his past. His Brahma situation is something like someone is just born. He is born with full consciousness. When you are born, do we have any remembrance of our past, any recollection of our past? No. We are just born. But when you are born, we are practically unconscious. No memory, nothing. And then we gradually acquire our memories. But Brahma's situation was, he opened his eyes and he found it. He was fully conscious with his complete intelligence, but no recollection of his past. So at a time like that, what would be one's natural condition? He would wonder, what's the matter? Who am I? Where did I come from? What am I supposed to do here? What is this place? Where I am? And so that was Brahma's situation. And Brahma tried to figure out first he thought that if he climbed down the stem of the lotus, then he'll be able to understand where he came from. And then he will be able to understand who he was. Maybe there will be somebody who could tell him. But in the universe, Brahma is the first created being. There was no one to tell Brahma. There was no one to answer Brahma's questions. So then finally, Brahma was inspired by the Lord from within. Prachodayat. The word prachodayat means inspired. So Brahma was inspired by the Lord from within. Tene brahmarida adi kavaye. The Lord then imparted the knowledge unto Lord Brahma in his heart. And then Brahma had the complete understanding. Brahma realized who he was. Brahma realized where he came from. Brahma realized where he was. And Brahma also realized what he was supposed to do. What he was supposed to do, why the Lord sent him, to fill up the universe. Because the universe is meant to become active now. So activity in the universe is relative to the presence of the living entities in the universe. So then Brahma realized he need to create living entities. Create means just to give them bodies. The living entities are never created. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Living entities are eternal. Living entities, being spiritual beings, they are all eternal. So the living entities then, Brahma then gave the bodies to 4 living entities from his mind. Therefore they are known as Brahma's Manasaputras. Manasaputra, children who are born from his mind. And they are 4 Kumaras. So when Brahma told them what he wanted them to do, they said, I'm sorry. We are sorry, we don't want to get involved into that messy affair of procreating offsprings. So they denied Brahma's order. So Brahma became angry that they are my children and they are not listening to me. So, but at the same time Brahma could also understand that his anger could destroy his children. Because Brahma is such a powerful personality, just his anger, just as from his mind he could create them, such a powerful personality. Similarly, his anger could have also destroyed them. And Brahma thought, they are my children. I cannot destroy them. I should not destroy them. Therefore, Brahma restrained his anger, controlled his anger. Although Brahma's anger was controlled within, but they came out in the form of Rudra, which is incarnation of Lord Shiva in this universe. And then Brahma created 10 children, again from his mind. And those 10 children were Pulastha, Pulaha, Kratu, Angira, Marichi, etc. and Daksha. And the youngest one was Narad Muni. So these 9 sons were obedient to Brahma. When Brahma said, look, help me in my duty with which I have been assigned here. And they agreed. So they are known as Prajapatis. Prajapati. Praja means children. Procreation. And Pati, the Lord. So they are actually the personalities responsible for procreation. And Brahma made Daksha as the head of the Prajapatis. So in this line, you can see there are 2 lines. One line is a line of renunciation, detachment, and devotion to the Lord. 4 Kumaras and Narad are in that line. Another line is material affairs. Taking care of the materialistic affairs. So this is the line of the Prajapatis. So when Daksha he got that position, he decided to perform sacrifices to get the ability and power. The sacrifices are important because they give us the ability to execute the responsibility that one has. So he performed a Bhajapeya Yajna, and then he decided to perform the Brihaspati Yajna, Brihaspati Sava Yajna. And so everyone was invited in that sacrifice to attend the sacrifice. It's a big affair. Like in the higher planetary systems, this is how they actually celebrate different occasions, by performing sacrifice. Just as in the material world, in the earthly affairs, people throw party. So in the similar way, in the higher region, they perform sacrifice. So in that sacrifice, everyone was invited excepting Lord Shiva and his wife Sati. So Sati saw all these demigods and all these Brahmarshis and Maharshis are flying through the space, going to her father's celebration of the sacrifice. And she naturally became attracted to go there. She felt that, there is such a big festival going to take place, so many demigods, all the exalted personalities of the universe are coming. And she wondered, why didn't my father invite me? And then she thought, even if he didn't invite, so what? I will go. I don't need any invitation to go to my father's house. So she went and expressed that desire to Lord Shiva. Now something happened beforehand. Why Daksha did not invite Lord Shiva? In one such assembly where all the exalted personalities were present, Daksha, when Daksha entered into the assembly, everyone stood up, showing respect to him. Whereas Lord Shiva just kept sitting there without even looking at Daksha. He just kept sitting without standing up. Now the reason why Lord Shiva just kept on sitting without standing up, showing respect to Daksha, was because Lord Shiva was so absorbed in his meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he didn't have any external consciousness. He didn't notice who was coming and who was going. He was simply absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Daksha became very upset. And he kept on insulting Lord Shiva. So this way we can see that Daksha is a perfect representation of a materialistic person. And Lord Shiva is the example of a perfect devotee of the Lord. Like a devotee of the Lord, he doesn't have so much external social consideration because his mind is completely absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. But the materialistic people cannot understand that. They do not understand the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the joy that one derives out of recollecting the past times and becoming absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. Actually, when one becomes absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord and glorifying the Lord, he loses all external consideration. So the Lord Shiva was an ideal example of that, of a pure devotee. But Daksha insulted Lord Shiva, saying all kinds of things. Daksha gave his daughter Sati in marriage to Lord Shiva because Brahma suggested that. Because Daksha was not very much in favor, because a materialistic people want to have materially exalted personalities. Like we can see, if somebody comes with a proposal to a father, a wealthy father, very exalted father, for a proposal, what is their first consideration? What does the boy do? Oh, the boy is a big officer or a successful businessman. Then the fathers become very happy. Okay, ठीक है चलो, ये proposal चल सकता. But if they say that the boy doesn't do anything, where does he live? He doesn't have any place to live. But then where does he stay? He lives in the crematorium. What does he do? He doesn't do anything. How does he look like? At least does he dress well? No, he doesn't wear any clothes. Does he wear any ornaments? He considers the snakes to be his ornaments. They'll get a shock of their life when they hear such things. So Daksha's situation was like that. And that's what he gave vent to his anger in this way. that this person, naturally Sati was the youngest daughter, and for the father, the youngest daughters are very, very dear, normally. But Daksha had to give his youngest daughter to such a person, Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva's situation, he is the most exalted personality in the universe. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. And he actually started to insult Lord Shiva, saying him uncultured, uncouth, uncivilized, a pauper without any material standing, who lives in the crematorium and moves around naked and associates with the ghosts and hobgoblins. And so Lord Shiva didn't care, just left. But Daksha remembered that incident, and he developed a deep animosity towards Lord Shiva because of that. And when he was performing this very, very opulent yajna, Brihaspati Sava yajna, he didn't want to invite Lord Shiva. So, but Sati came, and Sati's point was that I do not need any invitation to go to my father's house. And I want to see my sisters, I want to see my mother, I want to see my father. And I have so many friends for whom I did not meet for so many years. And also it will be a nice occasion to wear all the ornaments that my father gave me during my marriage. And but then Lord Shiva kept on telling that, look, this is the nature of a materialistic person. Your father is an extremely materialistic person. And he assesses, he judges everything from mundane point of view. His calculation is always very, very mundane. He has become so envious of me, and because he is envious of me, his affection for you also has been destroyed, because you are associating with me. Because he considers that I am your enemy, and since you are my wife, he will consider you also to be his enemy. And it is unfortunate that he doesn't understand the situation of a devotee. A situation of a devotee is that he is not at all concerned about the mundane affairs. He is beyond the modes of the material nature. Beyond the modes of the material nature means he is completely absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is situated in Krishna consciousness, therefore he doesn't have any consideration for social consideration, material consideration. And then in these two verses, he is pointing out, my dear this verse 24 and 25, I'll read the translation once again, then it will become clear to us why Lord Shiva is speaking like that. Therefore you should not see your father. Although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. Because of his envy, O most worshipful one, he has insulted me with such cruel words although I am innocent. If in spite of this instruction you decide to go, neglecting my words, the future will not be good for you. You are most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relative, this insult will immediately be equal to death. So, in this way, Lord Shiva actually forecasted that what might happen. That Sati, if she goes there, her father will insult her, and that insult actually will be the insulting Lord Shiva. And she won't be able to tolerate that, because for a chaste wife, her husband's reputation is the most important thing for her. For a chaste woman, her husband is her everything. And if that husband is insulted, then she will be extremely hurt. And as we will see in the next chapter, which actually is entitled as Sati quits her body. Sati quits her body. Why did Sati quit her body? Because as Lord Shiva foretold, the Daksha insulted Lord Shiva. Sati couldn't tolerate that insult, and she left her body. So that will be very wonderfully explained in the next chapter. So from this, what we understand, that even if the relatives, very, very dear to us, if they are not Krishna conscious, it is better to avoid their association. Because that association will simply bring misery. Of course, I'm not saying that everybody should leave his family if the family members are not. But the point is, as much as possible, try to have any dealings with them, especially when they become so agitated and start to insult the other devotees. That is one thing a devotee cannot tolerate. A devotee cannot tolerate the insult or ninda of other devotees. Why? Because the devotees are naturally very dear to the devotees. The exalted devotees are very dear to the other devotees. And if someone insults that devotee, then it becomes very, very painful to them. And as a result of that, they may act in a very unpredictable way, like Sati quit her body. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to kill Jagai and Madhai, because Jagai and Madhai, Jagai actually hurt Nityananda Prabhu. And as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got the news, he just immediately appeared there. And although he promised that in this incarnation he will not use any weapon, but he was inviting his chakra to come and kill Jagai and Madhai. But Nityananda Prabhu stopped him. Please don't do that. You took a vow that you will not use any weapon in this age, in this incarnation. When Shishupal was insulting Krishna in the Rajasuya assembly of Yudhishthira Maharaj, then Sahadev became so angry that he wanted to kick him on his head. Bhima was about ready to kill him. So they couldn't tolerate. Even Bhishma Dev. stood up and told him that you do not know who you are insulting, who you are speaking like this about. But ultimately, what did Krishna do? Krishna called his Sudarshan Chakra and chopped his head off. So this is how the devotees react when they see that the Lord and his devotees are being insulted. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any comment or question? Yes, Shankar. Take the mic.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, what is the origin of demigods and Ma Durga?
Ma Durga is Mahamaya herself. Lord's external energy is Mahamaya, personified. The Prakriti, this Mother Nature, as a person is Mahamaya. The different demigods are also expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the demigods. Kind of, yes.
We understood about the four Kumaras and the Prajapatīs also. How about Narad Muni? He also pretty denied Brahmaji's instructions.
Son. Okay, good point. Okay, Narad Muni also disregarded Lord Brahma's instruction to procreate. But because he was the youngest son and other 9 sons are engaged, he didn't mind it. Let him be. And Shankar, yeah. So about your question, how the demigods, who are the demigods? Yeah, in one way that they are actually also expansions of the Lord, different, but they appeared in a different ways. Like they appeared mainly as the sons of Kashyapa. Kashyapa was married to different daughters of Daksha also. One of them was Aditi. So Aditi's children are Adityas. Indra, Surya, they are all. Then in this way there is another category of Vasus, etc. Som. There are some questions from the internet. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. When Dhruva Maharaj was meditating, the point when he stopped breathing, why did the whole universe started suffocating? Please enlighten this. Okay, so the question is coming from another chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Vasughosh Prabhu ki. Yeah. Welcome Vasughosh Prabhu to Ujjain Dham, Avanti Dham. The question is that when Dhruva Maharaj was meditating, the point when he stopped breathing, why did the whole universe started to suffocate? So, yeah, this is from another chapter, another part of Srimad Bhagavatam. The yoga has 8 different limbs or 8 different steps. The 4th step is called pranayam. This pranayam process consists of, breathing process consists of 3 functions: inhale, exhale and retain. Puraka, Rechaka and Kumbhaka. So in the yoga, this Kumbhaka is the most important factor. In Kumbhaka, when one actually retains the air within. And at that point he stops breathing actually. That inhale and exhaling function stops and he just stops breathing. So when Dhruva Maharaj was practicing this meditation under the instruction of Narad Muni, then he stopped breathing due to Kumbhaka. And his stopping of the breathing and his meditation to the Lord brought him so close to the Lord that what he did was affecting the whole universe because he was in such close communication with the Super Soul. So when he stopped breathing, others could not breathe anymore. And so that is why the whole universe was actually suffocating, especially the demigods. So the point is, through meditation, through the proper meditation, one comes very close to the Super Soul. And then his activity affects the universal affairs. Another example is like Hiranyakashipu's austerity generated so much heat that the demigods in the higher planetary system could not tolerate that heat. So next question is from Shurit Krishna from Australia. While dealing with the materialistic people, we are insulted. So what should be our reaction to that? Should we reciprocate or just be humble? Also, if we see a materialistic person insulting a devotee, what should be our reaction? So, a devotee doesn't mind, doesn't care when others are insulting him. Because a devotee is very tolerant, very humble. When others insult him, he thinks, maybe that's true. Maybe I am like that. So that is the position of a devotee. Like Lord Shiva. When Daksha was insulting him, Lord Shiva didn't protest. He just walked away. But a devotee cannot tolerate the insult to the Lord and his devotees, other devotees. So that a devotee cannot tolerate. And at that time he reacts. And there are different ways that one can react. So one way is when one blasphemes the devotees, exalted devotees like that, he may cut off his tongue. But in Kali Yuga, that hasn't been advised. Because in Kali Yuga, devotees have been advised not to take any violent course of action. Mahaprabhu came and showed how to be tolerant. Mahaprabhu did not take any weapon. Although the Lord came, but he did not bring any weapon in this incarnation. The only weapon that he brought with him to kill the demons in this age is love. With love, the Lord is winning over, conquering, defeating, destroying the demons. So the next course of action is, if he tries to prevent him by verbal reasoning, and if he can't do that, then he walks away from that place. But when he walks away from that place, still he feels so bad that he goes out and immediately takes a bath. Because even to hear the blasphemy of a devotee is so contaminating. So general course of action is to leave the place, and if we can't rectify that person, if we can't stop him from doing that, then better to leave the place. And okay, the next question is from Jayesh Das from Calcutta. Are Sati, Parvati and Durga same personality? I mean Mahamaya. Yes. Sati, Parvati and Durga are the same personality, Mahamaya. Lord Shiva's wife. Lord Shiva's wife is Mahamaya. And Mahamaya manifests herself in this way, like Sati left her body and then she was born as the daughter of Himalayas, Parvati. And then she was married to Lord Shiva again. And as a result of that, Skanda, Kartikeya, was born, the general of the demigods. According to the Vedic scriptures, a chaste woman should not disobey her husband, but here we see Sati did not follow. Please explain. Well, Sati did not quite disobey. Lord Shiva did not tell her not to go, but Lord Shiva told, if you go, then that will be the consequence. But she could not foresee, or she could not even imagine that her father would become so vicious, so envious and so vindictive. But then that's why she actually was, when she realized that she made such a mistake, and then she realized that she should have followed the instruction of her husband in one hand and not have come here, and she couldn't tolerate the insult that her father was inflicting upon Lord Shiva, she decided to leave her body. Yes, Shami Krishi Prabhu.
Maharaj, about Sati is giving her body, there is some previous history. Why when Lord Shiva that she should go. And during Lord Ramchandra's time, Sati and Lord Shiva, they were going because Lord Shiva wanted to see Lord Ram in the forest, and Mother Sita was separated. And then he was going in the woods, and they were looking from a distance. And Lord Ram would ask trees and creepers and rivers and mountains, where is Sita? Hi Sita. And he was crying. And Sati had a doubt that how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is crying for a woman, for a wife in separation and shedding tears. So she could not understand, or maybe in some way the exalted position of Lord Ram and why he was doing that. And so she wanted to test that is it the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva remained behind. He did not really come in the front. He says, if you want to go, but please be careful. And she met the form of Sita Devi herself. But Lord Ram did not even look. He came and then said, where is Lord Shiva? When she immediately recognized Lord Ram that this is not Sita met, but it is that she is Sati. So she did not respond anything. And Lord Shiva asked what happened. She kept quiet. She did not say a word. But Lord Shiva understood everything that she tried to test and become. So and he considered that now she met the form of Sita, who is my worshipable goddess. So how I cannot accept her as my wife now, because she tried to trick Lord Ram. So he wanted to not to accept, and they were living completely separately, not like wife and husband. And now this incident in another yuga, another time this happened. And so Sati asked, and Lord Shiva not giving permission, but as you said, but she just went and gave up that body so she could be accepted again as his wife in the next birth. So that's because that body, she tried to become like Sita Devi, and that's why I was here. I hope that's.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Guru. Yes.
As we know that those who are living in the higher planetary systems, they can see what is going on in the on Earth planet. Like when Daksha Maharaj was performing yoga, different demigods, they could see what is happening on Earth planet. But means those who are living in subterranean heavenly planets, like in the lower planetary system, then why can't we see what is happening there? Because those who are living in the higher planetary systems, they can see what is happening.
Because the living entities on the earth planet has the ability to see only immediately what is around them, not beyond that. Not the living entities don't have the ability like the demigods, who has a greater vision than just their immediate sense perception. That's why the people from the earth planet cannot see what's happening in the lower planetary system. And besides that, the lower planetary system is underground. So that's another reason. It's underground. Can you see what's below the earth? Hare Krishna. Yes, Chetan.
Hare Krishna, Guru. Thank you very much for that. As Rudras were born out of Brahma, so Lord Shiva was born out of Brahma.
Who?
Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
So,
Rudra, that's an expansion of Lord Shiva. He is born out of Lord Brahma, yeah.
So then how Lord Shiva is superior to his father, Brahma?
No, Lord Shiva is not acting as superior to, in this affair, in this relation, Lord Shiva is acting as a brother of Narad. He called Narada his brother. And Brahma is like his father.
It is said that he was the most exalted personality in the universe, Lord Shiva.
Exalted personality from the devotional point of view. Just like Sukadev Goswami's position is seen as even greater than Vasudev's, although he is the son of Vasudeva. Because as he is a devotee, his situation was higher.
Vasudeva is also.
Vasavetti navetti va. Vas may know, but may not know. But Sukha knows. Okay? So there are two ways of calculating. One is the material calculation, father, son, grandfather, and so forth. The grandfather, father are naturally superior to the son. But in the spiritual consideration, that is not the deciding factor. The spiritual consideration is the extent or depth of the devotion of that personality. But in that calculation, a disciple will not be superior to his spiritual master. Like his position always remains subordinate. Disciple's situation remains subordinate. Yes.
Krishna Guru Maharaj, many of the students insult devotees. Devotees insult, then what? Devotees is not anything to do, but Krishna is angry, like Chaitanya Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu do not do anything, but Chaitanya Prabhu angry. So we can prevent them because they are also covered by the Maya material person.
I couldn't understand. I can't understand what he's saying. हिंदी में बोलो.
मुझे लोग डिवोटी की इंसल्ट करते हैं.
हाँ, इंसल्ट करते हैं.
तो जैसे कि आपने बताया हमारा कि नित्यानंद प्रभु की इंसल्ट दूसरा कृष्ण भगवान है वो भी एंग्री हो जाते हैं, तो वो उस मटेरियल पर्सन को श्राप देंगे, देन वी कैन प्रिवेंट देम, उस पर्सन को अपन प्रिवेंट बचाएं, भगवान से प्रे करें कि
Do you understand, Swami? The gift.
उनका ये कहना है कि जब इनकी इंसल्ट करते हैं दूसरे जो मटेरियलिस्ट पर्सन, तो उनका ये डर है कि इनके कारण भगवान उनको कुछ श्राप नहीं।
ओ, ये ठीक है, ये भावना सही है। तो भगवान के पास प्रार्थना करना ताकि भगवान उसको क्षमा कर दे। ओके, जस्ट yes.
Well, my question is in relation with the universal form in Bhagavatam.
Universal, yeah, okay.
Like, did Sanjay also saw the universal form? And second is like, Krishna speaks that that is of not much value, the universal form. So why is that? These two questions.
Sanjay, first, what was the question? Like,
Did Sanjay also?
yeah, so you two questions. Yeah. Yes, Sanjay also saw that. Otherwise, how could he describe that? That's one point. And the universal form is, as Prabhupada described, is the material manifestation of the Lord's. Like, universal form is in relation to the material nature. That is not a spiritual. So that's why the universal form is not so important for the devotees. Although the universal form is the Lord is the sum total of the entire creation. So that aspect of the Lord is the universal form. And the devotees are not interested in that form. Therefore we see Krishna, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show his forearm form. And even more important is his two-arm form. Because forearm form has opulence connected to that. Whereas in two-arm form, there is intimacy and attachment, intimacy and love. So the two-arm form of the Lord is the most attractive. So the question is, the husband and father are equally worshipable for a woman. Is this true also for woman who is a devotee? How is woman who is aspiring to be a devotee to understand her husband? So this question that you have asked, Bhaktin Carol, is not in relation to husband and father, but it is ultimately coming to husband and Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when it is a choice between Supreme Personality of Godhead and husband, then it is left up to the woman herself to decide. Because if we comment on that, it may lead to some problem. Especially when the husband is not in favor, husband is not favorable to Krishna consciousness. It happens often. The married women come and ask, what should we do? The husband is not favorable. The general answer should be, well, if it's a choice between Krishna and your husband, the natural choice, of course, will be Krishna. Because in your previous lives, you have so many husbands. Do you remember any one of them? Similarly, this husband also will be forgotten in your next life. But your relationship with Krishna is eternal. So, for the social consideration, one may maintain her relationship with her husband, but ultimately, we have to give up everybody for the sake of Krishna, if he is not Krishna conscious. Then from Bhopal base, question came, Guru Maharaj, Daksha was a Prajapati of whole universe. So where was this story going on? Yeah, this incident was going on in the higher planetary systems. The universe has 7 higher planetary systems, and this was going on in that plane. Not even in heavenly planet, even beyond heavenly planet. Okay, so I'll stop now. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.